They have switched to a defensive fire tactic situation. At this point, I don't see any hot spots in that building, but they are still hitting it, again, with 2 ladder trucks. Electrical line that's also fallen and collapsed on that house as well. But if you pan a little bit this way, you can see actually that those winds that came through here, that they were strong enough actually that there's that pickup truck that you can see that it's overturned. It's rolled into somebody's front yard. Here in Agra, students are going to be tested on some of the same topics, but with new references to the Bible. And for students in high school music classes, that's going to include singing and interpreting the song Joshua Fit the Battle of Jericho. At the 5th grade level, students are going to be asked the question, when did music start to exist according to the Bible? We are about 1.5 miles southeast of Woodward. You can see behind me that crews are still working to get a knockdown on a fire that broke out earlier this afternoon. We've got more folks that are coming out. Did you guys see the field storm? Did you guys storm the field?
I did not storm the field. Oklahoma's expected to win.
He was actually in the building that's just right next to the one that collapsed. He says that he was working in this barn right here when that tornado came through, and so of course this one still standing. The one right next to it, that's a different story. We're deep in the half marathon right now. We're still waiting on David to pull around with Lacey for the men's and women's full marathon. But it ended up on this residential street here in Oklahoma City. Police say that they were after a stolen car that reached speeds of almost 80 miles per hour before it ended up hitting this curb right here.
A new scam is targeting people in OKC. Thanks for joining us. I'm Carl Torp.
And I'm Amanda Taylor. The Better Business Bureau says dozens of people right here in the metro have received threatening letters in recent weeks. News 9's Matt McCabe is live in the newsroom with the letter and a warning. Matt?
Amanda and Carl, that letter came in the mail for some people, and it came from a company called Progressive Legal Group. But the address listed on it was actually a P.O. box at a metro post office. It's not always easy to tell where the road you're on is taking you. But Susan York followed the sign.
This smells really fishy. No, you're going to go to jail.
She's one of at least 90 people in the Oklahoma City area who received this letter. The address for the company that sent it is this P.O. box at a post office near Penn and Hefner. It threatened a lawsuit over non-existent debt.
Thank you for calling Nationwide Legal Group.
I called the number listed on the letter, but it went to voicemail. Casey Farmer at the Better Business Bureau says these scare tactics are familiar.
They might just change a few facts along the way to kind of trip up consumers.
Jamie Hadwin did her best to avoid calls from the scammer.
I actually found out about it through my husband, who said, hey, did you know that you're being hounded for some money you potentially owe?
After asking a few questions, York and Hadwin saw more signs suggesting suspicion.
And you're sitting there like, you must think I'm an idiot.
Just stay calm and do your research.
Does it say moron across my forehead?
But if you're not sure where a potential scam is taking you,
We want to make sure that we're disseminating that information to hopefully keep Oklahomans safe.
it's never a bad idea to ask for directions. Hadwin and York both avoided the scam and made reports to the BBB and Attorney General's office. Anyone who receives this or any other kind of threatening letter that might be a scam is encouraged to report it. In the newsroom, Matt McCabe, Oklahoma Zone, News 9. It's been 3 years since 15-year-old Natalie Kramer was kidnapped, taken to Oklahoma City, and held in a sex trafficking ring for 10 days.
Yeah.
Her story brings her back, now 18 years old and ready to share her thanks
Hello. Oh. Oh, wow.
with the people who rescued her.
Hello.
Nice to meet you again. Nice to meet you again.
Her undercover heroes stand with their backs turned. For each of them, Natalie's story represents the best of what they do.
It just means so much to see the people that were there for me when I couldn't be there for myself.
A gift of her appreciation.
But it says, you who dwell in the shadow of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty.
Sends an important message.
That means a ton. And the fact that it's rooted in faith really hits to the heart for me, because that's the type of fabric that I'm made of. And that's the type of fabric these guys are made of.
People should hear my story. People should learn about it.
We did what we needed to do.
There's only so much a family can say
And I'm a hugger.
to the officers who, in their time of
It
need,
really makes me feel loved.
brought the people they love
Loved and seen.
back together.
These agencies have spent years helping Oklahoma families recover from disasters like wildfires, tornadoes, and flooding. News 9's Matt McCabe investigates why the federal agencies are not getting paid what they are promised.
He joins us now in studio with what he's uncovered. Matt?
Amanda and Carl, we learned a key FEMA grant for Oklahoma has been stalled since August, and it has caused a deficit of hundreds of thousands of dollars for local charities, but it is part of a larger problem nationally.
The harsh effects of severe weather in Oklahoma lingers for years after the skies clear. That's when nonprofits like Road face their most critical need.
Disaster Case Management Grant helps us provide the services that are needed for these families to navigate through the recovery efforts.
FEMA puts up billions of dollars annually to help disaster-impacted communities. In the case of devastating storms in the spring of 2024, the federal agency promised more than $2.5 million for disaster case management assistance. Catholic Charities of Oklahoma City is one of 3 state groups that received part of that contract.
If we fulfill the full contract of the grant, it would be about $250,000 up to, but you can see that the grant was for $1.1 million. Our expenditures are $300,000, so we are already judicious about using the taxpayer dollars. We don't hire unless we have demonstrated need and valid cases.
Despite its caution, Catholic Charities and Road say the federal agency has iced them out of any conversation about when they will get reimbursed for the help they provide. Road says it is owed about $150,000 between 2 grants, and Catholic Charities is waiting on $70,000.
With a 10-year history with DCM grants through FEMA, the most we had ever waited was maybe 4 weeks upon submission of a invoice to be reimbursed. So this year has been much different than it has in the past.
Different by almost a half-year delay. There's hardly any explanation for why, other than a more scrutinous policy at the federal level for all spending.
We don't mind any of that, but we have a contract. Either help us fulfill the contract or communicate your intent, but don't just not communicate and not reimburse. That's not a good way to do business.
It makes it very difficult for us to wait when we don't know what slow means.
The lack of payment to them might be existential, and if they close, the capacity that we have in Oklahoma to respond to disasters might not recover. And so that's a tragedy that we'd like to avoid.
2 charity organizations say there are real faces of Oklahomans depending on these dollars.
We called and emailed several officials at FEMA today with no response from the agency. Catholic Charities says it can continue, but Road says no funding by the end of this month means it may be forced to stop its work. Meanwhile, at least 77 Oklahoma families are still waiting on critical disaster case management services.